Hi there everyone, hope you're well and welcome to week 39 of the live stream guitar lessons. So we will be pushing on with a little bit more from Guitar Quest 3 today. Before we get started, we'll just go over the usual kind of stuff. So if you happen to have any other devices on or things open that can make pinging noises at you, then please turn them off. Things like email, social media, that kind of thing. That just gives us our 30 minutes undivided guitar attention, so that's always worth doing. If there are any children watching, then I would suggest have an adult in the room as well, just to help explain a few of the ideas in case they find it tricky. That's pretty much it, I think, really. So yeah, we will just crack on, check our tuning and get going. So remember, with tuning, we just want to try and get these notes to sound, so I'm just moving myself around a little bit. We're going to get these notes sound as clear as possible and as close to what I'm playing. So I've checked my tuning. So when I play the bottom E, like now, you want to adjust your 6th string until it sounds the same. Go on to the 5th string, so again the same principle, just adjust away, the middle peg there. And then onto our D string. And then G, as we just work our way around. And then onto B. And then finally our top E string. Okay, cool. Obviously if you've got a guitar tuner and you can tune up before these lessons, then that's even better. Again, before we get started, just have a quick thing about posture. So remembering, obviously there's different ways of holding the guitar, been over that several times before. My main point would be try not to let the neck of the guitar point downwards, try and keep it with a slight upward slope, and try not to let the guitar slide away from you. Very tempting to kind of do that, but you do end up having to work a bit harder to get the fingers round and things like that, particularly when we're playing chords, so it will make things a little bit more difficult. You've got to really kind of put some work into it, whereas if you can keep it upright, but I appreciate you can't see where your fingers are going so easily, it does become easier. So just be aware of it, strike the right balance, that kind of thing. So good. Okay, so let's start with the warm-up then. So what we suggested last time was to play number 3, so new start. This is on page 4 of Guitar Quest 3. What I was thinking today is we'll play it through once in its entirety at a slow speed, and then we'll just try it again a little bit faster and just see how we get on, really. So let's give it a go. So because it's 2/4, I'm going to count to 2 twice. So 1 2 1 2, and then we'll start. Okay, so good luck if you're going to play along. And here we go. Okay, so 1 2 1 2. Third line. We're back to the beginning. 2. And then we stop there. Okay, cool. So let's try it again. We're going to go a little bit faster. So if we go more like something around that kind of speed, and just see how you go. Hopefully this will all make sense and you'll be able to keep up. Be interesting to hear, obviously, how it goes. So, right, let's take it away. So after the two counts 2 again. Okay, so 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, cool. So a bit faster than how we played it the first time. I think it's a little bit faster than the backing track, if I remember rightly. Although I haven't listened to that for a while, so I can't be sure about that. But let me know what you think. Hopefully you managed to keep up. And so we will push on then to the stuff we were looking at over the last couple of weeks. So that's primarily exercises 4 and 5. So we're going to have a quick play through exercise 4. Which has the repeats, so we play to the penultimate bar, go back to the beginning, play the whole thing again, and then we'll have a look at the chords that go with it, which was the main thing we sort of talked about last time. So, okay, let's give it a go then. So, exercise 4, Crossing the Saharas, on page 5 of Guitar Odyssey 3. So let's give it a go. So after 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Beginning. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2. 1, 2, and 3. Rest. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Rest, and then we finish on the A. Okay, cool. So we played that one for a couple of weeks now, so hopefully that was okay. Obviously, give yourself a pat on the back if it did go well. So that one I really wanted just to cover, primarily because we're going to be thinking about the chords again that accompany it. So just recapping the chords then. So A minor, 2nd string 1st fret, 4th string 2nd fret with the middle finger, and then the 3rd finger goes 3rd string 2nd fret. And then we strum from the 5th string, remembering that because the reason we know we want to go from the 5th string is because we want A to be the lowest note of the chord, and the lowest A we can get on the guitar is that open 5th string, so therefore it makes sense, that's where we want to strum from. Okay, so then C, that's our new chord that we had on page 4. To get to it, if you can, we're just going to move that 3rd finger. So we keep fingers 1 and 2 fairly rooted in place. As you can see, like when I change chords, you can see like my middle finger sort of slides a little bit. It never loses contact with the string, but it just sort of moves a little bit over the string to kind of make space, I suppose, for my other finger. So, so yeah, that's your target. If you find that's not happening, you've got to lift all the fingers off. That, you know, that's okay. It's just, again, knowing that if you can hold it down, it's going to make it easier in the long run, and you will get there with it. It just takes a bit of time. So, okay, so that's our A minor, and then our C and D minor. We're going to go 1st string 1st fret for the F. Middle finger goes 3rd string 2nd fret for the A, and then our 3rd finger goes 2nd string 3rd fret for the D. And then we strum from the 4th string. And again, we know that because we want D to be the lowest note of the chord, and the D on the open 4th string, that's the lowest D we can get on the guitar, so therefore we strum from that note. Cool, okay, and then we've got our normal E major chord, sorry. So 3rd string 1st fret with our 1st finger, middle finger goes 5th string 2nd, and our 3rd finger goes 4th string 2nd. So hopefully, if you've been watching some of the previous Guitar Quest videos and lessons I've been doing, hopefully your E major in particular is a chord that feels fairly familiar now. And so with this one, we strum from the 6th string because we're playing an E. We want E to be the lowest note, and the lowest E on the guitar is that 6th string. So we get the fingers in place and then strum across. And then we have a couple of different rhythm ideas within exercise 5. So for A minor, C and D minor, we're going to go down, down, up, 3, 4. So timing is 1, 2, and then 3, 4. Then we change, 2 and 3, 4. Then down, down, up, 3, 4. Then as we get to that E chord at the end of the first line, we're just going to do 3 down strums on the first 3 beats of the bar. Then the second line, much the same, 3, 4, then the C, down, down, up, 3, 4, then the D minor, 3, 4. When we get to E this time, we're going to go down, up, down, up, down. And so that represents 1 and 2 and 3, and then we get the rest on beat 4. I think I mentioned last week, don't really worry too much about that rest. You know, you can cut the sound off if you like, but it doesn't really add a huge amount to the tune itself. So then we go back to the beginning, we play it all again, and then we're just going to finish on a single strum of A minor. So we talked about that in a lot more detail last week, so I don't want to spend too long on it today. But we're going to have a go at playing it. So we'll take it at a nice sort of, medium kind of pace, I suppose. So let's get fingers on A minor to begin with. We'll include the repeat. So after 4, good luck everybody. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, down, up, 3, 4. And then change to C. 3, 4. Down, down, up, 3. And then 3 strums on E. Rest, down, down, up, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4, then the extra strums, 2 and 3, rest, and we go back to the beginning, 3, 4, C, 3, 4, D minor, 3, 4, then 3 E's, and then A minor again, 3, 4, and then our C chord, 3, 4, D minor, 3, 4, the extra strums on the E, rest, and then A minor to finish. Good stuff. One thing just to remember as well, I play guitar for a long time, so changing between chords is pretty comfortable for me. You might find to keep time that you do this kind of thing and then you're straight away changing and you're not letting the chord linger or sustain through beats 3 and 4. That's fine at this stage, whatever works, just try and get the chords as clear as possible and hopefully in time, and then the more sort of, or the finer details, should we say, they'll sort of fall into place later on when you're a bit more comfortable with it. So, okay, let's move on then. So, exercise 6. Now I want to bring this up on the screen just so you can have a look. Exercise 6 is actually the same as exercise 5, but we're writing it in a different way. So it's just a way of introducing this idea of the dotted crotchet. So dotted crotchet is worth 1.5 beats. So you may have heard this sort of thing before, but when you get the dot to the right of the note, then it adds half the note value. So the crotchet is worth 1 beat, the dot adds half of that, so half of 1 is a half, and then we add them together, so we get the 1.5 beats, as we sort of explained here. So when we're looking at exercise 6, we've got a 1.5 beat note, then a half beat, and then a couple more half beats, and a crotchet there. So dotted crotchet, quaver, 2 quavers and a crotchet. If I come back to exercise 5, we've got exactly the same thing, just written in a slightly different way, and we'd covered ties earlier in the Guitar Quest series, hence writing it this way to begin with, just so you didn't have another thing to be thinking about. But yeah, so that would be a 1 beat note tied to a half beat note, making it 1.5 beats long. So it's exactly the same as this here, just written in a slightly different way. So we're not going to play that one for now. I'll leave a link in the description and that kind of thing, so you can have a listen to it and play along with it if you like. As I said, it is exactly the same as exercise 4. It's just written in a slightly different way. So have a go at it. If anyone gets stuck on it or whatever, please do message, and I'll come back to it and talk about it in a bit more detail, perhaps next week or whatever. Excuse me. But hopefully that should all be okay. So what I would like to do is go on to exercise 7. So, excuse me. Bringing up the music again, we have this new note now, B flat. Now flats on the guitar they're a bit more difficult than sharps. So when we play sharps, you take a note, for example F, and you go 1 fret higher, F sharp. And so because you're always going higher, you can always go, unless you're right up the end of the fretboard, you can always go 1 fret higher. It's not normally too much of an issue. Flats are kind of the other way around. So we go 1 fret lower. And it so happens that the first flat that occurs in music, typically anyway, is B flat. So if we have B as our open second string, for example, what we need to do is go 1 fret lower, but obviously we can't do that. So in order to get 1 fret lower, we've now got to go on to another string. So the B flat now becomes 3rd string, 3rd fret. So I would say it's just a little bit more difficult to get your head around it, or maybe not to get your head around it, but to kind of incorporate it into your playing, really. Sharps, I think, can be just a little bit more instinctive. Flats perhaps sometimes require a little bit more thinking about. If we looked at B on the 5th string, this one's a bit easier because it's 1 fret lower, so we just drop to the 1st fret on the 5th string. Yeah, and I would say from stuff I've looked at online, a lot of chord charts and things can be written using sharps and things like that, when actually it can make more sense to describe things in terms of flats. So we want to try and get comfortable with the idea of flats and that kind of thing, yeah, just it's an essential part of music, really, and if you get used to them, it will make some things easier, even if it might seem a bit tricky initially. So yeah, there's a little bit of background anyway. So the B flat that we're going to be looking at in exercise 7 is this 3rd string, 3rd fret. So we want to watch out for that. And if I just again bring the music up on the screen. So looking here, so B is when the note's on the middle line, and then the flat symbol next to it, that is the flat symbol, that sort of lopsided B looking thing. So that tells us we've got to go to the B flat. And then in the music, every time the B flat occurs, we've got the flat sign there. Remember, obviously, well, same as sharps, when the flat occurs in the bar, it lasts until the end of the bar. So in this first one, we've got A, B flat, A, B flat, and then we're just off on our other notes here. There's no B flats on this line, but then the 3rd line, which is I think the same as the 1st line, we've got the B flats again. So we just want to be sort of aware of that, mindful of that, and that kind of thing, I think. So let me play it to you. I'll give you a count in, so you're very welcome to join in if you would like to. We've got more practice on the dotted crotchet in the first few bars, in fact in most of the bars. So remember, this first note is going to be worth 1.5 beats, so it'll be 1, 2, and that's our timing. So I'll just play that again, so it's 1, 2, and then on the rest of it. So let me demonstrate the first. Just play the first line for a second. Okay, so it's 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, go back to the beginning and play that line again. And basically every line is played twice because of our repeat marks. So let's give it a go. Aside from the B flats, the other notes are all the notes that we've covered and talked about a lot. You know, again, if you've watched all the old lessons, so most of these notes would have come up in Guitar Quest 1. So hopefully they're, apart from the B flat, reasonably familiar now. But let's give it a go. So we're going to start on the A, nice and slow. Remember, we're going to do each line twice. So here we go, and good luck, everybody. After 4. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1. Back to beginning. 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Second line. 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2. Repeat that line. 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1. The last line. 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1. Repeat that line. 3, 4. 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, cool. So a lot of counting going on there for me. Hopefully that helps. Just sort of guide you through where those sort of dotted crotchets and quavers are hopefully sort of lining up. So if you did manage to play along, then very well done. You know, that's there's quite a lot to be thinking about, I think, on that one. But let's have a listen to the full track, just so you can get a feel for it. I'll point at the music as well, so we know where you should be in relation to it as well. So anyway, here we go. Hope you enjoy it. This is Stargazing. Okay, cool. So I hope you enjoyed that one. Hopefully that give you some good stuff to get stuck into there. There was actually another thing I just wanted to point out on the second line, so I'll just bring your attention to that. So most of the rhythms, like for example on the first line, it's this sort of dotted crotchet, quaver, that sort of thing going on the whole way through. On the second line, just watch out, we've got it, the rhythm changes there, and we've got two crotchets in that bar and that bar, so you get the sort of the offbeat rhythm, and then it's just on the beat, offbeat on the beat. So that's one thing to watch out for. The other thing is how to play the C followed by the F cleanly. So if I close that down for a second. So when you get to that part in the song, so for example on the second line, we're going from D, we get to the C. Now, when you go to the F, you could just move that finger across, and that, like at this stage, that's fine to do. The other thing you could do is sort of flatten the finger down, so that you're basically pushing on both strings at the same time. So you and then it means after you've played the D in that in bar 6 there, your first finger's already in the right place to play the C. And this is a sort of, I suppose, a slightly unintentional introduction to barring, which is where if you see guitarists playing like concerts or YouTube videos, whatever, you'll see them play chords like that almost certainly, where this first finger goes across several strings at once. And that idea is called barring. And so as an introduction to that, barring like that is just, that's what it is, we're going across 2 strings. It's quite tough, so especially to begin with, so see how you go. If it feels comfortable, you might as well go for it. If it doesn't, just move the first finger across. Yeah, I've just seen a question there. Is sliding okay from C to F? So I guess you mean sort of doing that kind of thing, sliding across the strings. You know, I would say for where we're at the moment, yeah, that's fine. What you might find if you were like really sort of analysing how the overall sound is coming along, is that if you slide across like that, you might get some extra noise, like, you know, so it's about how can we get this as clean as possible. So doing a little bit of barring means we're not going to have any extra noise, like as you maybe lift off from that second string. You might not get it, and then it's fine. But it's just things to be aware of. And often when we're playing, you know, this is not going to be the case every time, but when we're playing, we want things to sound as smooth and as fluid as possible. So if you play it and you slide across and you think, you know, there's a little bit of extra noise that's coming in there which I don't really want, try the barring thing. Or you could, I don't know, if you lift that finger off and go to the first string, you probably will get a little bit of an open B sound. So I would say when you're comfortable with barring, you'll probably do that without thinking about it. But as I said, for where we're at, and this is only a sort of an unintentional introduction to it, you know, we will talk about barring further down the line. Yeah, it's just a case of do the best you can at the moment, I think, and see how you get on. And again, it'd be great to hear what you think, and you know, what works, what doesn't work, and all that kind of thing. So, good stuff. Okay, well, that is about half an hour again, so that is going to be a good place to finish up, I think. So, yeah, again, I think these exercises, because they're getting a little bit more challenging, we're not getting through them quite as fast as we did in Guitar Quest 1 and 2. So yeah, not quite as much new stuff today as, again, I'd hoped, but that's fine. So what I would suggest as a warm-up for next week would be exercise 5. So that was our chord practice. So we just want to try and keep our hand in with that. And then we've obviously got exercise 7 to have a go at as well. So I would make that your main focus. Have a little look around at exercise 6 as well, and just compare it to exercise 5 and see, can I see what, like, why are they the same, and you know, well, can I play them as well, would be another good thing, obviously. So yeah, and just be comfortable with notation, how it's written and what it's telling you. You know, that's a good thing as well. Obviously then next week we'll be getting on to another exercise, and hopefully more than just one. So good stuff. All right, well, we will leave it there for today. So very best luck with practice. just a reminder, all the backing tracks and that are on my YouTube channel, so please do check that out. That's at David Herries. I'll put the link in the description, so you should be able to track them that way as well. Just a quick note as well, next week is the 13th, next Thursday will be the 13th of February. That is the week before half term here, so we'll probably do next week, then have a week off and then reconvene. So just giving you a heads up on that. If you've been practicing any of these exercises and you're feeling really confident, then please, if you're comfortable, record yourself, pop them on YouTube, tag me in them, and it'd be great to see how you're getting on, how things are progressing. And if you've got any questions, obviously I can actually look and give you a little bit of feedback as well. So that'd be great if you're happy to do it. And that's pretty much it. So if you enjoyed the lesson, please do give it a thumbs up. Please let other people know if you think you know anyone that might be interested. And I will look forward to seeing you all next week. So have a fantastic week and good luck with all the practice, and I'll see you soon. All right, take care everyone. Bye bye.